Yo, what's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Happy TA4 week. Happy finest drop week. That's right. Listen, MLB The Show 24 has waned in popularity, and I know the last few months have been pretty slow. A lot of people are not thrilled with the product of this year's game, but every single year there are like a handful of things that get me super excited. Postseason content is always one of them. All-star content is always one of them, and end-of-year finest content is always one of them. So I personally am very excited for this upcoming week, and some of you guys have some questions about it. So let's hop in. This is, by the way, the 10 Minute Mailbag. If you are new here, it's the MLB The Show series where I put 10 minutes on the clock. You'll see it right above my head once it begins. And I go through user questions either on YouTube or Discord, which you can join for free down below. And we just spread the knowledge. So it's a good time. And today I've got 3 questions for you from both Discord and YouTube. So there's equal love here. And we're just going to hop into it. So I'm going to put 10 minutes on the clock, or, start my timer up to 10 minutes, as you guys learned last week, a little behind the scenes. And we'll just get it popping. All right? I hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you guys have an amazing week. But it's time to answer questions. So in 3, 2, 1, begin. Our first question, which was not actually in the questions channel. It was in the general chat on Discord. Join it again in the link down below. But I thought it was worth talking about. So Danny Batch, shout out Danny Batch, a frequent commenter and an active person in the Discord. Can't wait to see what the card arts look like. They always do a sick finest. So we find out tomorrow what the finest are, ? Yes. So on Twitters, MLB The Show tweeted, I could just pull it up. So I'm not a stupid idiot and talking out of my butt. The wait is almost over. You guys can see it, of course, if you are on the Twitters. The wait is almost over. I understand if you're not on Twitter, though. It's a hellhole. This Friday, the 2024 finest players are dropping in MLB The Show 24. If you're part of the scouting report, that's the email newsletter you can sign up for totally for free. Keep an eye on your email tomorrow for a sneak peek at your favorite teams' finest. So when they say tomorrow, they mean Monday, because they tweeted it on Sunday. So I don't know if that means they're revealing all the finest or if they're just revealing a select few. Kind of curious about that. We'll see, presumably in a few hours. I don't know when they're going to be sending the email out, but they did say on Monday. Finest is incredible. Retro Finest has added a layer to Finest that has made it even better. I don't know if Retro Finest will be included in Team Affinity 4 in some henchman capacity, maybe collections, maybe something like that. As you can see, so many of these Finest are so much fun. Finest, for me, is an incredible way to give juicy cards to the best players of 2024. Some guys who might not have gotten juicy cards otherwise. It's a lot of fun. My curiosity, which I'm sure we'll find out in the email, if you can see it, kind of. I'm going to move my camera just a smidge for a moment. Boop. 11/22 Friday is also Team Captain 99s. Put my camera back. I don't know if that means the Team Affinity 4 cards are all going to be captains. That'd be kind of neato. I'm kind of here for that. That's kind of what I talked about last week and how I think Team Affinity cards plus captains should be. Or within the Team Affinity XP Pass, there will also be 99 overall captain cards. Not sure. Unclear. The way it reads, Team Captain 99s, probably means it's going to be separate cards, which I'm not super thrilled about, at least conceptually. I'd like to see it, in my face before I pass judgment on it entirely. But surface level, I don't like that. Just make the Team Affinity guys. Give them the captain boost. Might as well. But I'm hyped. I'm kind of super stoked. It's clearly the end of the year. It's been the end of the year, it seems like, for a while. But Season 4 means all cards are eligible. No more need for wild cards. We're going to see lineups that span the entire length of the game cycle. I mean, I've been rocking with this lineup, and I kind of love it. It's all Season 3 other than Chipper and Jorge. I don't really see where else I'd upgrade. I think Jorge Posada is the best catcher. That's why I'm wildcarding him. I think Chipper Jones the best third baseman. That's why I'm wildcarding him. Perhaps maybe George Brett finds his way into the lineup at first base instead of Cody Bellinger, who I love, but George Brett's George Brett. I don't really see many changes that would be made here. I think it's the pitching that maybe would get some changes. A lot of guys that you could use, perhaps the bullpen too, but I think the Season 3 cards were so juicy that they're the guys you should be using in your lineups, unless you have favorites. Always use your favorite swings. Don't let me dictate what you use. But Finest is coming. The Finest cards alone could completely throw off the balance of the game. We'll see who gets cards, how they look. Like, is an Aaron Judge Finest, because he's probably getting the Finest for the Yankees, gonna have enough vision to play? Or is, some people don't mind vision. I personally prefer higher vision. It just, for the most part, helps me swing. But like, that's usually the thing that holds Judge back from you. But if they make Judge with like 9,500 vision, we might be talking about an absolute demon. So I'm excited to see the Finest cards. They're here. They're going to shake up the meta. That's what they're supposed to do. And I hope you're excited for it too. Listen, if you're still playing the game, good for you. You don't have to be still playing the game. But this is the type of content drop that should get people excited, because every year it's so much fun. And it's always almost done pretty friggin' well. So that's my standpoint. But Danny, thank you for... I know that wasn't necessarily a question you wanted me to answer, but thank you for being active in the chats. Appreciate you. Next question. Funny name, but a good question. MLB Blow 2025. I'm sure you don't stink. Do you think all cards should be available on the market? I play mostly offline, and I'm able to get any card I want if I have enough stubs without being forced to play online. There are some cards only available by grinding offline, though. Maybe he means online. Either way, I know what he's getting at. In the way the game is currently structured, no, I don't think you should be able to get every card playing offline. However, if the game was structured to a degree at which offline players get rewarded more, perhaps the way it should be, then yes, I would like to see a path in which every card can be gotten in both offline and online capacity. In the offline capacity, maybe it takes a little longer. I think that'd be a fair thing. But I do believe the game mode of Diamond Dynasty would need to be completely restructured to make that make sense and make it viable. I'm not against it. I'm against it in the way the game is currently constructed. I do think keeping a barrier to some cards is good, because it means the quote-unquote better players have access to the better cards. But I also think some of it's done intentionally to have people try out new game modes that they otherwise would not try, because they really want to go for Ivan Rodriguez's World Series reward right now. Up to you if you think that card is good or worth your time, just using him as an example. If you're a big Rangers fan and Ivan Rodriguez may be your favorite player of all time, but you don't play a lot of ranked, you might be incentivized to play ranked because you really want the Ivan Rodriguez card. That is the way the game is currently structured. But maybe there's some sort of offline thing we can come up with that makes it possible. Maybe there's a way to get more vault packs in offline modes. I kind of like the introduction of vault packs in that fashion. I don't like them as a stub money grab. I think that's silly. We know why it's like that. Maybe there's a chance where you can replay some modes and you get vault pack after vault pack after vault pack, and that's how you get some of those cards that are otherwise online only. Maybe that's the play? I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think. I'm not against it. I don't like it for the game right now. If it's rebuilt, I'm in. So I'm curious what you guys think. Should every card be available to both offline and online players, just perhaps via a different method? Interested to hear what the crowd thinks. So MLB Blow, first of all, don't think you blow. I bet you're better than you think you are. And secondly, thank you for your question. Our final question today, an interesting talking point that, again, I'm very curious to hear what you guys think. From John Max 943. Will they ever bring back the MLB 2K series or maybe EA Baseball? So, MLB The Show, in my humble opinion, needs a competitor. A real competitor. Not Super Mega Baseball, not to take away from the folks who worked on that game, but that's more of an arcade style. The Spirits game that's in Japan is very different. It's an entirely different market, so that's not truly a competitor yet. If they provide English translation, and make it widely available, maybe. I'm talking 2K or EA. those would be direct competitors because they're big studios, they have resources, they would be able, I know there's an exclusivity deal right now with SDS, and that's probably why no other competitors are doing stuff with the game. But here's the path, in my opinion. So EA brought back college football, largely a big hit, right? I think maybe popularity has waned a little bit as the game has been out. Happens with every game. I think the path is maybe EA goes, wow, this game did really well. What if we brought back EA College Baseball? That's the engine. They build the ground floor with EA College Baseball. If that pops, EA might be like, you know what? We should enter negotiations to try to get some rights and make an MLB game. I think your hope is to see an EA College Baseball game first and have that be good. If it stinks, c'est la vie, throw it away. C'est la vie doesn't make sense there. That means that's life. Whatever. I think we need to see that step first. Maybe there's a way an EA College Baseball game becomes a competitor. It is still baseball. It's not. It doesn't have Mike Trout and Matt Carpenter. Like, I just use them because they're on my screen. But maybe that's enough. I don't know. You know, SDS has borrowed things from some of these past game franchises before. Pinpoint pitching is not, like, new to MLB The Show when it first came out. It was originally introduced in, I think it was 2K. You know, SDS kind of can do whatever they want right now. And that's why I think competition is needed. Competition breeds the best out of both sides if it's working. You know, you got to compete for eyeballs. Right now, SDS doesn't really have to compete for eyeballs. They're the only show in town. I enjoy MLB The Show. I know it has its flaws. I talk openly about its flaws. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't give another game a try just to see what it's like. Maybe there's a way they can learn from a new game. So, will they ever bring them back? Hard to say no to that. I would assume maybe at some point. I just don't know when that's going to be. And that's it. 10-minute mailbag. Another one in the books. What do we think? We talked about some cool stuff today. Are you guys excited for Finest? Do you think they're going to bring back EA or 2K? Should offline players have the same stuff as the online players? And how should they do it? Because the answer is yes, they should. It's just a matter of figuring out how. So, I appreciate you guys and all your wisdom and inquiries and questions and interest in the channel. Make sure you subscribe before you go and stay tuned for more content this week. Love you all. See you next time.